Hello again team, it's Jess or JashiiCorrin and welcome back from my week 21 plan with me. In today's video I'm going to be setting up for the week of the 18th through to the 24th of May, but before we get into that, as per usual we're just going to have a look at how this week is going. So as you'll remember from my last weekly plan with me, for this week I just went with a simple layout that has boxes for each day of the week on the left and a space for a long running to-do list here on the right. Honestly, this has been working pretty well. I've quite enjoyed the long-running to-do list in particular. Actually remembering to come and fill anything in for these boxes for each day is a little bit trickier, but overall it has done well to keep me on task. Today New Zealand is officially in alert level 2, which means that next week on Monday I'm going to be starting back at school. So I am certainly interested to see how much my bullet journal use continues when we're back in the classroom. Prior to lockdown, I wasn't really getting into my journal so much, so I'm hoping I don't relapse into not using it. Flipping over and getting into it though, as per usual, any of the equipment I use in today's setup is linked in the description box below. In terms of time, from first touch of the pen to final erasings, this layout took just under 30 minutes. Of course, that doesn't include the time taken to pencil in each section, or what was honestly ages figuring out what I wanted to put in each box. As I use monthly meal, mood, and habit trackers, I didn't want to double up on those, so I opted in to have a gratitude log, a water intake tracker, a daily review section, and the weather on my layout for this week. I also included a space for steps, as I'll be back at school next week, so hopefully I'll be moving around a little more. Plus I'm excited to use my new Fitbit. Having a look at the questions from last week's video though, our first one comes from Tammy, who asked, who in the Bujo community is inspirational for you right now? At the moment, I'm getting a heap of inspiration from Erin of Erin Floto Designs. I've been particularly drawn to her cleaning tracker and the associated stencil that she's made to set that one up. Recently I bought one for myself, so I'm really excited for that to arrive. Other than that though, I've also been inspired by Sheila of Lollipop Lettering over on Instagram. I think she does really gorgeous layouts. There are links to both of those accounts in the description box too, if anybody wanted to check them out. Our next question comes from Epicelo29, let me know if I said that wrong, who asked, how hard is teaching online? That one's a bit tricky to answer because I really feel that proper online teaching would be just as challenging as teaching in a classroom, even if the challenges are maybe a little bit different. For me, who normally works face-to-face with my students though, there have certainly been some things that are easier and some things that are a bit more difficult. For instance, a lot of the engagement that I have in my lessons comes from being in front of the students. When it comes to being in the classroom, I'm essentially a performer. So I rely a lot on my presence and the presentation of material to make things that would otherwise be a little bit dull, a bit more entertaining and engaging. With the way that I've been doing my online lessons though, it's really added a lot of time to the preparation that I have to do, which means that a lot of my weekend has been spent making slides and then videos and then the online practice tasks and yeah. Not that I've had a lot of other weekend plans, so could be worse. But when it comes to the lesson times, because it relies on the students being a lot more independent, that's freed me up to go around via chat or calls and check in with the students regarding how their work is going. A lot more so than I'd otherwise be able to do in a regular classroom setting. Overall, I haven't really minded teaching online, but I am excited to get back to school next week. Well, not so much in terms of having to wear non-pleb clothing, but yeah. Our third question comes from Daphne, who said, some people like to cook or get their nails done or read. What's your self-care activity? That's a great question, and honestly probably one that I don't have a great answer to. The main one that comes to mind though is skincare. So doing a proper full body exfoliation and then putting on moisturizer and body butter and all of that. That's something I really enjoy and consider to be a self-care activity. I've been thinking a lot lately about what counts as self-care for me, and still trying to distinguish between self-care and things that I do for other reasons. Up next we have a question from Teresa, who asked, how do you feel like the quarantine has affected your relationship with your bullet journal? And what has been your favourite spread on this month so far? Well, with the being stuck at home and having the school holidays during lockdown, this let me do the Month of Planning with Me series for April. After having over 2 months in a planner slump, I figured that the daily videos in my journal would really help hold me accountable for actually using it. And honestly, that worked so well. I love my spreads for April. I love that I got into my journal every day and kept on top of filling things out, and that it made me more productive. And given the fact that I really love pages that are really well filled in, and then the whole getting into my journal constantly to fill them in, yeah, I'm really damn pleased. Having this time at home has really helped me reconnect with my journal, which is funny, because primarily I use it to organize tasks and events, and the events category has certainly been lacking for the past 7 weeks. In terms of a favourite spread though, not too sure if you were asking about April or May, but I really loved my productivity tracker in April. That one was a fun new addition. And for May, I've been really enjoying my Coke Zero tracker. Mostly because it's kinda silly, but I appreciate the novelty of it. A related question comes from Marluce, who asked, what is your favourite memory of the past month of planning? I'm gonna take that in the context of the videos, and thus my favourite memory would have had to have been the live videos. It's a lot of fun getting to interact with you guys in more of a kind of real-time setting, even if it's a bit tricky to talk and fill in my planner and keep up with the live chat. I really enjoyed the semi-continuation of the month of planning with me too, that we have happening over in the JashiiCorrin community Facebook group. For those of you who don't know what that is, for May we have a list of journaling related prompts, which are over on the Facebook group, and each day we post pictures or comment related to that prompt. There's a link to the Facebook group in the description for anybody who wanted to check that out though, and it's just been a fun way of kind of continuing that interaction with you guys, even though I'm not doing daily videos. Our final question comes from HD Drawhouse, who asked, well, okay, it's more of a statement, but who said, you have beautiful hands. You are male or female? Thank you. I often get a bit worried about my hands. Obviously, I'm not too big on nail polish, like a lot of the other bullet journalists on YouTube seem to be. And as a nail biter, which you can probably tell from my hands today, I get a little bit worried that my hands aren't overly aesthetic. In terms of the second part of your comment, yes, I am male or female. Thank you as always to all of our inquirers from last week. If you guys have a question you'd like me to answer in next week's video though, please do leave that in the comment section below. My question for you guys though, and going back to Daphne's question, what do you guys do for self-care? I find it hard to distinguish between things that I do for self-care and things that I do for other reasons. For instance, when I read, I don't really consider it self-care, as I only really read for personal development, so non-fiction books. But I suppose that begs the question, can it not count for both? I'd love to know what you guys do though, and what you consider self-care to be. Here we go, so a little bit more of a complicated layout compared to last week. So I have a box for each day of the week, a space for a running to-do list, and then a bunch of other little boxes, so one for gratitude, water, steps, weather, and a review of the day. So maybe like my biggest success and my biggest challenge, or something like that. I'm excited to use this one. I've kind of missed having something so structured, and it'll be interesting to see how I manage it considering next week we'll be back in the classroom. With that said though, thank you for watching team. If you liked today's video, please do make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you wanted to see more from me, feel free to go check out one of my other videos. Until next time, bye!